Yo, my name is Zosh.
Yo, it's Young Static.
What's cracking, guys? This is Christian from Honda Vlogs.
Yo, vatos locos. This is Lazymangarage. And you know who you're watching?
You're watching Lazymangarage. You're watching Lazymangarage.
And you're watching Lazy Man's Garage.
Lazymangarage.
So Robert got himself his gauges that he wants for the Nissan. These are Defi gauges, and they aren't cheap.
No.
How much did you pay for all these?
The 3 plus the controller was $1,000.
1,000? You're on the phone with?
This is water temp. It'll be easy.
Watch it come with the thing.
No, I wish. It'd be alright.
I don't see why it wouldn't.
It doesn't. So this is that's the mounting holder.
What color does it light up? Blue?
Blue. I got blue. So this is the daisy chain, and then this is the temp adapter. So this will go in the block, or into the fucking thing. This to this. See if I can fucking stop shaking all over. That, and then this gets routed into the car, into the...
Where's the power wire for this? Is there power that goes to this or no?
No, it's all daisy chained. So...
What's a daisy chain? What does that do?
So these will all feed off of each other. So you see the two adapters, the two, adapters back there. So
One goes into there, and
one
the other
goes in. One goes in here, and then the other one, this side will go into the next
gauge.
Into the next gauge, and then the last gauge will have the power wire going to the unit.
Oh, okay. So we only got to wire up one power then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's not that hard then. Because I thought it was all power that we all had to do. I was like, damn, that's a lot of wires.
No. It's like one sending unit.
So you got water,
oil, and boost.
Well, what's the fourth box?
The fourth box is the control unit.
Oh, okay.
That's the main thing for all of them. Some shit.
Oh.
So it's just the Defi box, and then these are all the plugs. So it's got exhaust temp, water temp, oil temp, fuel pressure, oil pressure, turbo intake manifold pressure. This is the DC power source. This is for the actual switch, and then the meter output is what the daisy chains will run off of.
On this, where are you gonna mount that? Right under the CD player? Because you have two slots, right?
No, I don't. Because I have it's like a double DIN sized CD player.
I didn't know Defi was Japanese.
So this will probably be mounted in the glove box. I think I'm gonna cut up my expensive car and put this in the glove box.
Oof.
So this will be the hard part. So this is power, and then this is to the...
That's another daisy chain, right?
This is the meter outputs. So this will run up to the first meter, and then the daisy chains, the little ones, will run to the other meters.
Oh, sure. That looks like a lot of work, man. I'm getting tongue-tied over here. Can't even fathom how much work this is gonna be.
It's just this power. This is all the one. It's just these four.
Well, it already has a fuse in here, right?
So, yeah. So this is power fuse, ignition only.
That's when you go click, click.
Yeah. And
We could probably use your existing wires to tap them into. The ones that are already tapped into it.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
So that's your
That's your...
that's your display for the daisy chain. You have one chain going to that, and then each one goes to each other's gauge.
The vacuum lines that go to the...
The sensor, and then the sensor will run to another wire to the inside of the bay, or the inside of the thing.
Seems pretty simple enough.
Yeah.
What's all this gobbledygook right here?
Oh, the rest of it?
No, right here in the front.
Oh, these are the temperature range. So,
is it going by Celsius or Fahrenheit?
they should be Celsius because that's what the box say, but then when I went to go pick them up from Up Garage, they said it's all in Fahrenheit, but it doesn't make sense because all the boxes,
Wait, Up Garage. Where's Up Garage at?
Torrance.
Torrance?
They
Torrance,
have
California?
They have a, you have to order and then it's like special pickup there in Torrance.
Oh shit! Might have you do that for some spoon bars.
So,
We spent almost 2 hours looking for a water temperature sensor adapter. If you don't know what that is, I'll put a little picture up here in the corner, and that's what we were looking for. We couldn't find one, right? The entire time. We pop his hood, and what a water temperature sensor looks like is, I'll put another picture right here, it's what it looks like. Now usually on Hondas, on the block, this is where ours goes. Ours goes right here. Ours is this right here, this little doohickey right there, right? He needs to plug his into the block. And we were like, hey, do that so that way you can read the temperature sensor. Well, you can read the water temp or whatever, what have you. Man, let me tell you. Remember, the car comes from Japan. Okay, remember that. Okay, so when I show you this, laugh at Robert. That's it right there. The entire time he was looking for it, and he found it. It's right fucking there. So running his gauges, we're going to use, because thank God they labeled these. So what we're going to do is, this is the illumination. We're going to use that. This is the main power. We're going to use that for to power up the Defi box, the van system. And then we're looking for, well, we're going to ground it to one of these right here.
where's the paper?
Paper?
You're sitting on?
Oh, yeah, take that. So we got right here. We got
Ignition.
an ignition. Okay, so yeah, you have to find out what wire is an ignition. So we got ground, which is black, orange, which is illumination. Oh, ignition.
White is illumination.
White is illumination, and red is power. So power, illumination, ground, ignition. So the ignition one would have to go to whatever starts up with one of these. So we'll have to find ignition in here somewhere. I'm pretty sure it's around here somewhere. And then we're just going to tap him into there, so that way when he turns on the car, when the radio turns on, it'll turn on this, and it should essentially work that way. Instead of running all these wires that go all the way to the bay, so we're going to run it this way. So we got accessory, front speaker, illumination. This is the ground that we don't know what goes to. We got front rear, front right. This is main power. These are more speakers. So I'm not sure if accessory is ignition. Well, we can always look that up. So that's what I'm gonna go do right now, is I'm gonna look that up. On his, we found this harness, right? Well, this
Oil pressure gauge
from Gretty, and they labeled it all in Japanese, but we found the exact same wire. See battery. So we found the exact same wires. We got illumination, we got power, we got ground, and we got ignition. And ignition goes straight to this wire right here, so we could just cut it right there and run it from that. And then whatever the other wires are connected to, we could use those essentially. So this wire right here is illumination. This wire right here is ground. Ground is right there. And this one is battery. So yeah, the word you're looking for is plug and play. Yeah, so I mean, essentially everything's all here, so we can totally run it. We don't even have to tap it into the radio.
Yeah.
So there goes your power. You can just run this through the back. Run this this harness right here, Rob. When you drill your hole in there, you run it through the back, and then you can connect it all through there.
Yep.
So it saves you a lot of time and problems or whatever. Nice.
And then everything else has to be routed through the dash, or I mean through the firewall to the box, and then the box to the...
Well, there just should be a hole over here on that side where you can run everything. Okay. Well, let's get to it. Okay, so we got the harness loomed up and wired in, as you guys can see here. It's all wired up and loomed up.
Beautifully.
So, beautifully. This is a Robert spec, all right here. Oh, cool. I have 10%. This is all Robert spec, and this is going to go underneath the dash and into here. Should you drill it from down?
Yeah, I'm gonna drill from down.
Because like if you drilled it like this, you would see the wire dangle.
No, I'm gonna drill it in the.
Like up this way?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because you just pinch these like that and it comes down. You pinch it forward like that, it drops. Okay, well, now we got to find out where these go. But he already found them out. They go to the engine bay, and he's gonna do all that part. But this was all essentially this was the hard part for him, right? This was the hard part.
Yeah.
Essentially, so I helped him out with that. That's already done, and then he's gonna need to find a place to mount up his pods, which he's gonna put it right here on this dash because it's already cracked. But eventually he could find another dash if he wanted to. So yeah. Anything to say? I'm Robert. Explain to the camera what you're doing.
This is gonna be for the gauges. This is essentially the wire for the daisy chain. So it's gonna come out here and then go up to the boost, or up to the
Other gauges.
gauges.
Very race car-ish. Oh, does it say CTR on top?
CTR control up.
Civic Type R. The boost controller
So
lines
I'm gonna go
for
on
his
off-road and see if I can find one party.
for his gauges. Sorry about that. The car.
Look for it right now because I know it's about to get.
That should be the turbo line. But
What if it's not?
it should be.
Yeah, you could call AutoZone the 07 Toyota Yaris.
Yaris, not Yaris.
Long as they understand, it doesn't matter.
All right, then. You text me.
So Robert got one gauge pod in, and he ran some wires. We couldn't do the oil temp one because apparently they didn't run it. So the entire time while he had oil temperature going through his meter, it was only reading the temperature off the engine bay. So couldn't make that work. So he's gonna get a sandwich plate for it and do his oil change, and when it comes time for him to do his oil change, that's when he'll put the other one in. But for now, he's just, you know, putting his little sticky pieces on and putting it where he wants it to be on the dash, and then he's gonna wire them all in, turn on the car, we'll connect the battery, turn on the car, and bam bam bam, rip it damn bam, all done. Okay, so Robert's gonna start the car. Well, not really, but he's gonna put it in the on position. Did it have to be started?
I think so. Open the book. There's no light coming out of it.
Oh, this is supposed to light up?
There's a power light on there.
Go ahead.
What's up, Chris?
Hold on, dude.
Yeah, you're vlogging, right?
And this one's oil temp, which we don't have plugged in yet. So, and your turbo's plugged in, right? Give it a rev. Wait, what? Kevin.
That's so nice.
So you're at right there when you rev it.
Do you have boosting water?
Hey, boost and
Boost water, and the temp isn't
No oil.
oil.
no
Yeah,
oil temp, yeah.
That is for $1,000. You might as well went with the. What's the one that has the panel right here?
I didn't want it separate now.
No, I would have went with these for sure.
Like a little thing.
Bitch, that's the panel.
No, No, but you said a separate panel.
No, the plant.
Correct. The only wire that wasn't correct was the power wire to this gauge. So we spliced it into.
You're about to be right for
I'm filming here. I'm filming here.
I'm so sorry. So sorry.
We spliced it into the power wire for the radio, and now it completely works. The box has power. The only I don't know if this is a normal thing though. When you turn it off, watch it kill it.
Oh.
The car would turn off, but he has to turn off his lights,
Oh, those are bright.
and then so they're gonna glow like that during the day. Nice.
Shine like a diamond.
And then when your car turns off, these should turn off too. So
They will eventually.
yeah, the car takes a while to turn off because of the turbo timer that is on the car.
You're gonna have to fast forward that.
Yeah, I'm gonna fast forward this little part until it gets to the part.
That's $1,000 would have bought you a brand new wine house.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Paul.
Wow. For the Civic.
Asshole.
Huh?
Asshole.
For the Civic.
Hey, Robert.
That doesn't. Why doesn't it? Why isn't it?
Hold on.
Why isn't it that bright when it's running?
Because it's taking the power.
But I'm gonna close out the video here, guys. You guys saw the gauges installed and everything. So if you guys like this video, please make sure you smack that like button. Please make sure you guys subscribe for more. If you guys need your motors built in San Bernardino, head on over to SB Machine Shop. If you guys need any parts for your car, head on over to OMO Motorsports in Montclair, California. If you guys need any hardware, use my code LAZYMAN and get 10% off of your entire purchase on MPC hardware, MPC lowering forks, MPC LCAs, and the whole 9 yards. You could use the code every time you order. So my name is Chris, and I'm lazy, so you don't have to be. Peace.